Imagine you are sitting alone in your room after a long, exhausting day. The world outside is quiet, but inside your mind, thoughts are racing. You think about what went wrong today, the mistakes you made, the things you could have done better. You replay conversations, wondering if you said the right things. You worry about tomorrow. What if something goes wrong again? What if you never feel truly happy? Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, happiness seems just out of reach? Do you ever wonder why some people seem so content while you struggle with stress, doubt, and fear? Have you ever asked yourself, what if happiness isn't something to chase, but something to discover within? Let's take a simple example. Imagine holding a glass of water. If you hold it for a few seconds, it feels light. If you hold it for a few minutes, it starts to get heavier. And if you hold it for hours, your hand will hurt, and the weight will feel unbearable. The glass doesn't change, but your experience of it does. The same happens with your thoughts and worries. The longer you hold on to them, the heavier they feel. But what if you could put them down? Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we explore the deepest truths about life and happiness through the wisdom of Buddhism. If you're tired of feeling stuck in overthinking, stress, and negativity, this video will open your eyes to a new way of living. But before we continue, let me ask for a small favor. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of people subscribe. If you enjoy this content, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It only takes a second, but it helps us a lot, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. So drop a comment below and let us know what happiness means to you. Now, let's begin. What if true happiness isn't about changing your life, but about changing how you see it? Most people believe happiness comes from success, wealth, or relationships. But have you ever noticed that no matter how much you achieve, there's always something missing? Buddhism teaches that happiness isn't found outside, it's created inside. Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." This means that no matter how much you try to fix your external life, if your mind is restless, you will never feel at peace. Imagine someone who has everything: money, fame, relationships, but their mind is filled with anxiety and doubt. Can they be truly happy? Now imagine someone with a simple life, but a calm and grateful mind. Who do you think feels more at peace? The biggest mistake people make is believing that something outside of them will make them happy. They chase after things: more money, a perfect relationship, social approval, thinking that once they have it, they'll feel complete. But happiness isn't something you find. It's something you become. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is that suffering comes from attachment. When we attach ourselves to things, whether it's a person, a goal, or an idea, we create expectations. And when reality doesn't match those expectations, we suffer. Have you ever wanted something so badly, only to feel disappointed when you got it? That's because happiness never comes from the thing itself. It comes from your mind's reaction to it. Another reason people struggle with happiness is because of constant comparison. Social media, society, and even our own minds convince us that we need to be more successful, more attractive, more popular. But Buddhism teaches that peace comes from accepting where you are right now. Imagine walking through a garden, but only focusing on the flowers that aren't blooming. You'd miss the beauty around you. Happiness works the same way. If you're always focused on what's missing, you'll never appreciate what's already there. So, what's the solution? How do we stop chasing happiness and start experiencing it? The first step is awareness. When you realize that your thoughts, attachments, and comparisons are the biggest barriers to happiness, you gain the power to change them. The second step is letting go. Letting go of the belief that happiness is something you must earn. Instead, learn to find it in the present moment. As we move forward in this video series, we will explore powerful Buddhist techniques to shift your mindset, break free from negativity, and experience happiness in its purest form. But for now, take a deep breath. Feel the present moment. And remember, happiness isn't a destination. It's the way you walk the path. Mastering your mind, the root of true joy. Sit down for a moment. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Now, ask yourself, what is happiness? Is it something you find? Something you create? Or is it something that has always been inside you, waiting to be uncovered? Most people spend their lives searching for happiness in the outside world. They believe that if they just work harder, earn more, or find the right person, they will finally feel complete. But look around. How many people have all of these things and are still unhappy? The truth is, happiness has nothing to do with what you own or who you are with. It has everything to do with your mind. Imagine two people walking in the rain. One is cursing the weather, frustrated that their clothes are wet, thinking about how their whole day is ruined. The other smiles, feeling the cool drops on their skin, grateful for the fresh air. The rain is the same, but their experience is different. Why? Because happiness is not in the rain. It is in the mind. So, what does it mean to master your mind? It means learning to control your thoughts instead of letting them control you. It means understanding that your emotions do not define you. And most importantly, it means realizing that you already have everything you need to be happy. You just need to see it. Think about the last time you were truly happy. Maybe it was a simple moment, laughing with a friend, enjoying a peaceful walk, or feeling the warmth of the sun on your face. Did you need anything special to feel that happiness? No, it was already inside you. But then, why do we struggle to feel happy all the time? Because our minds are cluttered. Buddhism teaches that the mind is like a lake. When the water is still, it reflects the world clearly. But when it is disturbed, everything becomes blurry and chaotic. Our thoughts, worries, and fears are like the wind that stirs the water. If we want to see clearly, if we want to experience true happiness, we must learn to calm the mind. But how do we do this? The first step is awareness. Have you ever noticed how your mind jumps from one thought to another, like a monkey swinging from tree to tree? One moment, you're thinking about your past mistakes. The next, you're worried about the future. And in all this noise, the present moment, the only moment that truly exists, is completely lost. Right now, in this very second, nothing is wrong. You are simply here, listening, breathing. The past is gone. The future has not arrived. But your mind keeps running, pulling you away from this peace. Mastering your mind starts with recognizing this pattern. When you see your thoughts drifting, gently bring them back. Over time, you will notice something incredible. You are not your thoughts. Most of our suffering comes from believing everything our mind tells us. I am not good enough. I will never be happy. Something bad will happen. But these are just thoughts, not reality. They come and go like clouds in the sky. If you hold on to them, they block the light. If you let them pass, the sky remains open and clear. Now, let's talk about another powerful secret: detachment. Many people think happiness comes from getting what they want. But have you ever noticed that as soon as you get something, your mind moves on to the next desire? You wanted a new phone, and you got it. For a while, you were happy. But then, a newer model came out, and suddenly, your phone doesn't feel as special anymore. This cycle never ends. Buddhism teaches that true happiness comes when we stop attaching our joy to external things. When you learn to appreciate what you have, instead of always wanting more, your mind becomes light. Imagine carrying a heavy bag filled with things you don't need. Every step feels exhausting. But what happens when you let go of the bag? Suddenly, you can walk freely. Your mind works the same way. So, how do we practice detachment? Start with small things. If something doesn't go your way, instead of getting upset, observe your reaction. Ask yourself, does this truly matter? Will it still bother me in a week? In a year? Most of the time, the answer is no. Learning to let go of small things prepares your mind for bigger challenges. But detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop suffering over things you cannot control. Imagine you are watching a river flow. You see a leaf floating on the surface. Do you try to grab it, or do you simply watch it pass? Life is the same. The more you try to control everything, the more frustrated you become. But when you learn to flow, happiness comes naturally. Another important step to mastering your mind is changing your inner dialogue. Think about how you talk to yourself. If a friend made a mistake, you would comfort them, right? But when you make a mistake, do you do the same? Or do you criticize yourself, saying, "I'm so stupid. Why do I always fail?" Your mind listens to everything you say. If you constantly feed it negativity, it will believe it. But if you speak with kindness and encouragement, your mind will respond the same way. Instead of saying, I am not good enough, try saying, I am learning and I am growing. Instead of, I always fail, try, every mistake is a lesson. This simple shift can change your entire life. And finally, the most important lesson, gratitude. Right now, you have something that someone else is praying for. Maybe it's your health, your home, or even just the ability to listen to this message. But the mind always focuses on what is missing instead of what is already here. Every day, take a moment to appreciate the simple things. The air in your lungs, the people who care about you, the warmth of the sun. When you train your mind to see abundance instead of lack, happiness becomes effortless. Mastering your mind is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming aware. It is about choosing peace over worry, gratitude over dissatisfaction, and letting go instead of holding on. When you stop searching for happiness outside and start cultivating it within, you will realize you were never lost. The happiness you were looking for was inside you all along, breaking free from mental chains. Sit down, take a deep breath, close your eyes for a moment. Now, ask yourself, what is holding you back? What is keeping you from feeling truly happy, light, and free? Is it fear? Is it regret? Is it the weight of what others think about you? Whatever it is not outside of you. It is inside your own mind. Most people think they are trapped because of their circumstances, money, relationships, past mistakes, or an uncertain future. But the truth is, the real prison is in your thoughts. The chains that hold you down are not made of iron. They are made of beliefs, fears, and attachments. And the key to breaking free has always been in your hands. The mind creates its own cage. Imagine a bird in a golden cage. The door is wide open, yet the bird stays inside. Why? Because it has been inside for so long, it has forgotten how to fly. Even though freedom is right there, fear keeps it from taking that first step. This is how most people live their lives. They feel stuck, not because they are truly trapped, but because their mind has convinced them that they are. Have you ever felt like you can't change? Like no matter how much you try, you keep falling back into the same patterns of overthinking, stress, and frustration? This is not because change is impossible. It is because the mind is comfortable with what it knows, even if it causes suffering. The Buddha once said, your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. This means that no one, no situation, no past mistake has power over you, unless you give it power. The moment you realize this, everything changes. The illusion of control. One of the biggest chains that trap the mind is the illusion of control. People believe they must control everything, their future, their relationships, their success. But have you ever noticed that the more you try to control life, the more anxious you feel? That's because life is like water. Try to grab it too tightly, and it slips through your fingers. Think about the last time you felt frustrated. Maybe things didn't go the way you planned. Maybe someone disappointed you. Maybe you wanted something so badly, but it didn't happen. Now ask yourself, was your suffering caused by the event itself, or by your attachment to how you wanted things to be? The secret to freedom is letting go. Not in the sense of giving up, but in the sense of understanding that you are only responsible for your actions, not the outcome. The moment you release this need for control, your mind becomes light, peaceful, and free. The fear of what others think. Another heavy chain is the fear of judgment. Many people live their entire lives trying to please others. They make choices based on what their family expects, what society approves of, or what will make them look successful. But in the process, they lose themselves. Ask yourself, how much of your stress comes from worrying about what others think? How many times have you stopped yourself from doing what you truly wanted because you were afraid of being judged? The truth is, people are too busy with their own lives to think about you as much as you believe. Everyone is caught in their own thoughts, their own worries, their own struggles. The moment you stop chasing approval, you will feel an incredible sense of relief. The weight of the past. Many people are also trapped in the prison of the past. They replay old mistakes, painful memories, and regrets over and over again. But think about this. Can you go back in time and change what happened? No. Then why do you let it steal your peace today? Buddhism teaches that the past only exists in your mind. The pain is real, yes, But the suffering comes from holding on to that pain instead of allowing yourself to heal. Imagine carrying a heavy rock everywhere you go. Your arms ache, your body tires, but you refuse to let it go. Now ask yourself, why are you carrying it? Whatever happened in the past, it does not define you. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are what you choose to become right now. Breaking the chains, the power of awareness. So how do you break free? How do you stop feeling trapped? The answer is awareness. The moment you see the chains, you can start breaking them. Observe your thoughts. The next time you feel stressed, ask yourself, what belief is causing this? Are you trying to control something? Are you afraid of judgment? Are you stuck in the past? Question your fears. Most fears are just stories the mind creates. Ask yourself, what if I let go of this fear? What if I stop believing this thought? Practice letting go. You don't have to control everything. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to impress anyone. Letting go is not about losing. It's about freeing yourself from unnecessary suffering. Live in the present. The past is gone. The future is unknown. But this moment, right here, right now, is where happiness is found. Take a deep breath. Feel the air on your skin. Listen to the sounds around you. This is life. The choice is yours. You were never truly trapped. The door was always open. The only question is, are you ready to step out? The art of letting go, freedom from suffering. Sit with me for a moment. Breathe in and breathe out. Let everything settle. Now, tell me, what are you holding on to? A past mistake? A painful memory? A dream that never came true? Whatever it is, feel its weight. Is it heavy? Does it hurt? Then why are you still carrying it? Imagine you are walking through a beautiful forest, but you are carrying a huge bag filled with stones. With every step, your body aches, your back hurts, and your energy fades. You want to move forward, but the weight slows you down. Now, imagine if you just let go. What would happen? The burden would disappear. You would walk freely, feeling light, feeling alive. This is what life is like. The past, the worries, the regrets, these are the stones we carry. We think we need them, but all they do is hold us back. If you want to be free, if you want to be happy, you must learn the greatest secret of all, letting go. Why is it so hard to let go? Why do we hold on to things that cause us pain? The answer is simple. The mind loves to cling. It clings to people, to experiences, to emotions. It doesn't matter if they bring joy or suffering. The mind doesn't want to lose them. It's afraid. It whispers, what if I let go and regret it? What if I never find something better? What if? But ask yourself this. Has holding on ever made your pain disappear? Has replaying the past ever changed what happened? Has worrying about the future ever made it any easier? No. It only makes your suffering last longer. Let me tell you a story. A man once came to the Buddha, filled with anger and grief. He had lost his fortune, his family had turned away, and he could not sleep at night. He asked the Buddha, why is my suffering endless? Why can't I find peace? The Buddha smiled and asked, if you pick up a burning coal with your hand, who gets burned? The man replied, me, of course. The Buddha nodded. Then why do you keep holding it? This is the nature of attachment. We suffer not because of what happens to us, but because we refuse to let go. We keep the fire of pain burning inside us, even when we have the power to put it out. So how do we let go? How do we finally free ourselves? First, understand this. Letting go is not losing. It is gaining freedom. Many people think if they let go, they will have nothing left. But the truth is, when you let go of pain, you make space for peace. When you release the past, you open the door to the present. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. Second, let go with love. If someone hurt you, if life disappointed you, don't hold on to bitterness. Forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. Imagine carrying a cup of poison and refusing to put it down. Who does it harm? Not them, only you. So release it. Let it flow away like a river. The past does not need you anymore. Third, trust that life moves forward. Nothing stays the same. The sun rises, the seasons change, rivers keep flowing. Even your body is not the same as it was yesterday. If life moves forward, Why should you stay stuck? Why should your mind live in yesterday when today is waiting for you? Many people say, but I don't know how to let go. It's simple. Do nothing. When you stop feeding a fire, it goes out. When you stop gripping a rope, it falls from your hands. Letting go is not about fighting your thoughts or forcing yourself to forget. It is about choosing not to hold on anymore. Close your eyes. Imagine the thing that brings you pain. Now, picture yourself holding it in your hands. Look at it. Feel its weight. Now, take a deep breath and open your hands. Watch it drift away like a leaf in the wind. That is letting go. The Buddha once said, you only lose what you cling to. What if, instead of clinging, you trusted? What if, instead of holding on, you simply lived? Life is happening now, not in the past, not in the future. The more you hold on to what is gone, the more you miss what is here. Open your hands. Free yourself. Then watch how light and peaceful your heart becomes, transforming negative thoughts into inner peace. Close your eyes for a moment. Listen to your mind. What is it saying? Is it peaceful, or is it filled with worries, doubts, and regrets? Do thoughts come and go like waves, or do they stay, making you restless? Most people don't realize this, but the greatest battle is not in the world, it's in the mind. A person can be in a beautiful place, surrounded by everything they need, but still feel unhappy. Why? Because their mind is trapped in negative thoughts. And yet, another person can have nothing, just the ground beneath them, but feel completely free. What makes the difference? It is the way they see their thoughts. A thought is just a thought. It is like a cloud passing in the sky. It appears, stays for a while, and then disappears. But what do? We hold on to negative thoughts. We keep thinking about the past. I should have done that differently. We keep worrying about the future. What if something bad happens? We take every thought so seriously, as if it is the truth. But is it? Let's do a small test. Imagine a dark cloud in the sky. Now, imagine that this cloud slowly moves away, revealing the clear blue sky behind it. What happened? Did the sky change? No. The sky was always there. Only the cloud moved. Your mind is the sky. Your negative thoughts are just passing clouds. But when you forget this, you become the cloud instead of the sky. A man once came to the Buddha and said, "My mind is always full of negative thoughts. I feel unhappy all the time. What should I do?" The Buddha simply smiled and asked, "If someone gave you a gift, but you refused to take it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man replied, "To the one who offered it, of course." The Buddha nodded. "Then why do you accept every negative thought that comes to you? Do you see? Negative thoughts knock on your door, but you do not have to let them in. Imagine sitting by a river. The water flows, carrying leaves, branches, and even dirt. If you jump in, you will be carried away. But what if you just sit and watch? You will see that everything passes. Your thoughts are like that river. If you keep reacting, you will always feel disturbed. But if you simply observe, they will come and go on their own. But how do you stop reacting? How do you break free from negativity? First, understand that a thought has no power until you give it power. A thought is like a seed. If you water it, it grows. If you ignore it, it dies. When a negative thought appears, don't fight it, just watch it. Say to yourself, here is a thought of anger. Here is a thought of fear. Just notice it and let it pass. The more you do this, the weaker your negative thoughts become. Second, change how you speak to yourself. Many people don't realize this, but they are their own worst enemy. They say, "I am not good enough. I will never be happy. I always make mistakes." But would you say this to a friend? No. Then why say it to yourself? Instead, start saying, "I am learning. I am growing. I am more than my thoughts." The words you repeat become the reality you live in. Third, remember this simple truth. Nothing lasts forever. Not even the worst thoughts. Right now, you may feel stuck in negativity, but will this last forever? No. Everything changes. Just like the seasons, just like the waves in the ocean. So when negative thoughts come, smile at them and say, you again. Don't worry, you won't stay for long. There is a Zen story about a man who was walking in the mountains. Suddenly, a storm came. The wind was strong, the rain was heavy, and the man was cold and afraid. He kept fighting the storm, cursing the rain, wishing it would stop. But the storm did not listen. Then, he saw a small hut and stepped inside. He sat down, closed his eyes, and simply listened to the sound of the rain. At that moment, he accepted the storm instead of fighting it. And suddenly, the storm didn't seem so bad anymore. This is how you must deal with your thoughts. Fighting them only makes them stronger. But when you accept them, when you say, "It's okay, let it be," they lose their power. One of the most powerful ways to transform negative thoughts is gratitude. When you focus on what is wrong, you suffer. But when you focus on what is good, even the smallest things, you feel peace. Every morning, before you get out of bed, think of 3 things you are grateful for. It could be as simple as, "I am alive. I have food to eat. I have a place to sleep." This small practice can change your entire mindset. Another secret is breath awareness. When a negative thought appears, don't follow it. Instead, take a deep breath. Feel the air enter your body. Feel it leave. Do this 3 times. When you focus on your breath, your mind naturally calms down. Why? Because your breath is always in the present moment. And negativity cannot survive in the present. It only lives in the past and future. Let me ask you something. If you had a cup of poison, would you drink it? No. Then why do you drink the poison of negative thoughts every day? You have a choice. You can either fill your cup with suffering, or you can fill it with peace. Which one will you choose? Buddha once said, "What you think, you become." If you keep thinking negative thoughts, you create suffering. But if you train your mind to see the good, to let go, to stay present, then happiness will find you. So, the next time a negative thought appears, do not fear it. Do not fight it. Just watch it, like a cloud, like a river, like the sound of rain. Let it pass. And remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the sky. And the sky is always, always clear. The power of present moment awareness. Sit down. Take a deep breath. Feel the air entering your lungs. Feel the weight of your body on the ground. For a moment, let go of the past. Let go of the future. Just be here. Right now. Most people do not live in the present moment. They are trapped, either in memories of the past or worries about the future. They replay old conversations, regret past mistakes, or wish they had done things differently. Or they stress about what will happen next. What if something goes wrong? What if they fail? What if life doesn't go the way they planned? But have you ever stopped and asked yourself, where is life actually happening? The past is gone. The future hasn't arrived. The only place where life exists is here, in this moment. Imagine you are walking through a beautiful forest. The sun is shining, birds are singing, and a gentle breeze touches your skin. But instead of enjoying it, you are lost in thought. You are thinking about a mistake you made last week or worrying about something that hasn't happened yet. You are physically there, but mentally, you are somewhere else. And because of that, you miss the beauty around you. This is what happens to most people every single day. They are alive, but they are not truly living. They are lost in their thoughts. Their mind is either running towards the future or stuck in the past, never resting in the now. Buddha once said, "Do not dwell on the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." This is the secret. When you bring your full attention to now, life becomes clear, simple, peaceful. Think about it. Have you ever been truly happy while worrying? Have you ever felt peace while regretting the past? No. True happiness only happens when the mind is present. Take a moment and observe your thoughts. Where do they go? Are they pulling you into old memories? Are they creating fears about the future? This is what causes suffering. It's not life itself that makes you unhappy. It's your thoughts about life. Right now, just for a moment, pause. Look around you. Feel your breath. Listen to the sounds around you. Notice how everything is happening right now. This is life. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, just this moment. Some people think happiness is something they will find later. After they achieve their goals, after they get rich, after they meet the right person. But when later comes, their mind still searches for the next thing. They are never satisfied. They never truly arrive. But what if happiness isn't something you find? What if it's something you allow? Right now, At this moment, you can choose to be present. You can choose to see the beauty in simple things. The way the light falls on the wall, the sound of the wind, the feeling of your own breath. You don't need a perfect life to be happy. You only need to be awake in the life you already have. Think of a child playing in the rain. They are not thinking about tomorrow. They are not worried about the past. They are just there, feeling the water on their skin, laughing, enjoying every moment. This is the natural state of the mind, pure presence, pure joy. But as we grow, we lose this ability. We think too much. We forget how to just be. Right now, ask yourself, what is missing in this moment? If you don't bring the past or the future into it, what is wrong with right now? If you let go of all thoughts and just sit in this moment, you will feel a strange kind of peace, a silence, a stillness. That is presence. That is the gateway to true happiness. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You stop needing things to be a certain way to be happy. You stop believing that your joy depends on anything outside of you. And when you do this, you become truly free. Imagine a bird flying across the sky. It does not carry a heavy back. It does not fear the changing winds. It simply spreads its wings and soars. This is detachment. This is freedom. This is happiness. So ask yourself, what are you holding on to? What is weighing you down? What fear keeps you from truly living? Maybe it is time to open your hand and let go. The illusion of control, finding serenity in uncertainty. Sit with me for a moment. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Now, tell me, what do you truly control in this life? Think about it. Do you control the wind that moves the trees? Do you control the rain that falls from the sky? Do you control the way others think, act, or feel? Many people spend their whole lives trying to control everything. They plan every detail, prepare for every outcome, and try to make the world bend to their desires. But the truth is, no matter how hard you try, life moves in its own way. The more you try to hold on to control, the more suffering you create. Imagine you are holding a handful of sand. If you grip it tightly, trying to keep every grain in place, it slips through your fingers. But if you keep your hand open, the sand rests peacefully in your palm. Life works the same way. When you stop trying to force things to happen your way, peace begins to settle in. So many people are afraid of uncertainty. They worry about what will happen tomorrow, next week, or next year. They think, what if something goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I lose what I have? But have you ever noticed that no matter how much you worry, things still happen in their own way? Buddha taught that attachment to control is one of the greatest causes of suffering. When you expect life to follow your plans, you create disappointment. When you expect people to behave a certain way, you create frustration. And when you expect the future to unfold exactly as you wish, you create fear. But if you let go of these expectations, suddenly, you feel free. Imagine walking down a river, trying to hold on to every rock in your path. You stop, you struggle, you refuse to let go. But the river keeps flowing, pulling you along. Now imagine simply floating, letting the current carry you. You move effortlessly, feeling light, at peace. This is what happens when you surrender to life's flow instead of fighting it. You might ask, but if I stop controlling, won't my life fall apart? No. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means trusting the natural rhythm of life. A tree does not force itself to grow. It simply grows. The sun does not struggle to rise. It simply rises. Life is already moving in the way it is meant to, with or without your effort. Think of a time when something unexpected happened, something you didn't plan for. Maybe it was losing a job, ending a relationship, or facing a challenge you didn't see coming. At first, it felt like a disaster. But looking back, didn't it lead you somewhere new? Didn't it bring lessons, growth, or even unexpected joy? This is the beauty of uncertainty. Life often gives you what you need, not what you want. Have you ever seen a bird worry about the sky? Have you ever seen the ocean afraid of the waves? No, because they trust their nature. The bird flies, the ocean moves, and you, too, can trust the path of your life. Most of your stress, fear, and frustration come from fighting what is. You resist change. You resist reality. You resist the unknown. But the more you resist, the more you suffer. Imagine trying to stop the wind with your hands. It's impossible. But if you allow the wind to pass through you, you feel its coolness, its presence, its dance. Now, let's talk about control over people. Many believe they can control others, how they think, feel, or act. They try to change their partner, fix their children, or make others see the world as they do. But people are like the wind, free, unpredictable. The more you try to control them, the more resistance you create. But if you accept them as they are, relationships become peaceful. Think of a bird in a cage. The owner loves it, feeds it, and keeps it safe. But the bird is not free. Love is not control. If you love someone, let them be who they are. If they're meant to stay, they will stay. If they're meant to go, they will go. Love is freedom, not possession. Many people fear uncertainty because they believe safety comes from control. But control is an illusion. Anything can change at any moment. The only real safety is in trusting yourself, trusting life, and flowing with whatever comes. Imagine a tightrope walker. If they focus too much on not falling, they become stiff, tense, afraid. But if they relax, trust their balance, and move with the rope, they walk effortlessly. Life is the same. If you live in fear of the future, you lose the joy of the present. So what can you do? How can you let go of control and find peace? First, become aware of when you are resisting life. Are you forcing things to go your way? Are you afraid of change? Are you struggling against something you cannot control? Simply notice it. Awareness is the first step to freedom. Second, practice trusting the flow. When plans change, instead of getting frustrated, try to see where life is guiding you. When someone acts differently than you expect, instead of feeling upset, accept them as they are. When the future feels uncertain, remind yourself, you have survived every challenge before. You are stronger than you think. Third, embrace the unknown. See it as an adventure. The best moments in life often come from unexpected places. The greatest lessons come from challenges you never saw coming. Instead of fearing what you don't know, welcome it. Ask yourself, what if the unknown is bringing me something beautiful? Right now, take a deep breath. Feel this moment. Here, in this very second, you are safe. You are alive. Everything is as it should be. There is no need to control. Just be. Happiness is not in controlling life. It is in trusting it. Let go. Surrender. And watch how peace finds you effortlessly. Self-compassion, the forgotten key to happiness. Sit down for a moment. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Now, think about this. When was the last time you were truly kind to yourself? Not just a little, but deeply, genuinely kind? When was the last time you forgave yourself for a mistake? When was the last time you spoke to yourself with love instead of criticism? Most people go through life being their own worst enemy. They judge themselves harshly. They replay their failures. They compare themselves to others and feel small. If they make a mistake, they call themselves foolish. If they don't meet expectations, they feel worthless. But let me ask you, would you talk to a friend like that? Would you tell a child, you're not good enough? You'll never be happy. You're a failure. No? Then why do you say these things to yourself? Happiness is impossible without self-compassion. You can chase success, relationships, and recognition, but if your own mind is against you, you will never find peace. Imagine carrying a heavy bag full of stones. Each stone is a harsh word you've said to yourself, a regret you can't let go of, a painful memory you keep revisiting. Now, imagine carrying this bag every single day. It slows you down, makes you tired, and fills your heart with suffering. But here's the truth. You don't have to carry it. You can set it down anytime. Self-compassion is the act of putting down that heavy bag. It means treating yourself the way you would treat someone you love. It means understanding that mistakes are part of growth, that failures do not define you, and that no one deserves to live in self-hate. Buddha once said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. But do you truly believe that? Or are you still waiting for permission to be kind to yourself? Many people think self-compassion is weakness. They believe they must be hard on themselves to improve. They think that if they don't criticize themselves, they'll never succeed. But this is a lie. Imagine a plant growing in a garden. If you give it sunlight, water, and care, it grows strong. If you neglect it, it wilts. And if you constantly attack it, tear its leaves, and crush its roots, it dies. Your mind works the same way. The more love and kindness you give yourself, the stronger you become. Think about this. How do you react when you make a mistake? Do you call yourself useless? Do you tell yourself, I always mess things up? Do you feel like giving up? Now, imagine if you reacted differently. Imagine if, instead of punishment, you gave yourself patience. Imagine if you said, it's okay. I am learning. I am growing. How much lighter would your heart feel? One of the biggest reasons people struggle with self-compassion is because they believe they are not worthy of it. They believe they must first achieve something, prove something, or become someone special before they can be kind to themselves. But tell me, when a baby is born, does it need to prove anything to deserve love? No. It is loved simply because it exists. And so are you. You don't have to earn your own kindness. It is already yours. Life is not easy. There will be challenges, failures, and pain. But every time you fall, you have a choice. You can either push yourself down further with blame and guilt, or you can lift yourself up with understanding and care. Self-compassion is not about ignoring your mistakes. It is about learning from them without destroying yourself in the process. Now, let me ask you, when was the last time you appreciated yourself? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, I am doing my best, and that is enough? When was the last time you thanked yourself for surviving all the hard days? You have been through so much. You have struggled, fought, and kept going even when it was difficult. Doesn't that deserve kindness? There is a Zen teaching that says, a wave does not need to be perfect to be part of the ocean. This means you do not need to be perfect to be worthy of happiness. You are already whole, already enough, already deserving of love, including your own. So, take a deep breath. Let go of the idea that you need to be someone else to be happy. Let go of the belief that you are not enough. From this moment forward, start treating yourself like you would treat a dear friend. Because in the end, the relationship you have with yourself is the foundation of all happiness. And the more love you give to yourself, the more love you have to share with the world. How gratitude reshapes your mind and life. Sit still for a moment. Breathe in and out. Now, think about your life. Not the things you lack, not the problems that trouble you, but the things that are already here. The air in your lungs, the warmth of the sun, the food that nourishes you, the people who have been kind to you. Have you ever truly paused to appreciate these things? Or have you been too busy chasing something else? Many people wake up every day thinking about what they don't have. They wish for more money, more success, more comfort, more love. But when was the last time they looked around and felt grateful for what they already possess? They assume happiness will come when they achieve more, but in reality, happiness begins the moment they learn to see. Gratitude is not about pretending that life is perfect. It is about realizing that even in imperfection, there is beauty. Even in struggle, there is something to be thankful for. A broken heart means you had the chance to love. A difficult challenge means you had the opportunity to grow. A rainy day means the earth is being nourished. But the mind, if left untrained, does not see these things. It focuses on what is missing. Have you ever met someone who has everything yet still feels empty? And have you met someone who has very little but smiles with pure joy? The difference is not in what they own. It is in how they see. One searches endlessly for something to fill the emptiness, while the other finds contentment in what is already present. Imagine you are holding a cup of water. If you only focus on how much is missing, you will always feel lacking. But if you focus on the water that is there, you will feel abundance. Life is the same. The more you train your mind to see what is already here, the more peaceful you become. Buddhism teaches that suffering comes from attachment and desire. When we constantly crave something more, we never feel complete. But gratitude dissolves craving. It shifts the mind from I need to I have. It transforms anxiety into peace, anger into acceptance, and sadness into appreciation. You might say, but my life is difficult. How can I be grateful when I am struggling? This is where the true power of gratitude lies. It is not about waiting for perfect conditions. It is about seeing differently, even in difficult moments. If you have a problem, it means you are alive to solve it. If you have pain, it means you are capable of feeling. If you have lost something, it means you once had something precious. Even sorrow, when looked at with gratitude, carries wisdom. Think about a child receiving a simple toy. Their face lights up with joy. They are completely present in that moment, fully enjoying what they have. But as we grow, we forget this ability. We take things for granted. The things we once wished for, we now overlook. The people we love, we assume will always be there. The little comforts of life, fresh air, a soft pillow, a kind word, we barely notice. Why? Because the mind is always looking ahead, always wanting more, never pausing to see. The mind is like a garden. If you water the seeds of gratitude, they will grow into peace and joy. If you water the seeds of dissatisfaction, they will grow into restlessness and suffering. Which seeds have you been watering? Every thought you nurture shapes the way you experience life. Try this. Before you sleep tonight, think of 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be big. Maybe you had a warm meal. Maybe someone smiled at you. Maybe you simply made it through the day. When you wake up tomorrow, do the same. Start your day with gratitude and see how your mind begins to change. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It is a practice. It is something you choose every day. And the more you choose it, the lighter your heart becomes. You start to see the beauty in small moments. You start to feel less anxious about the future. You stop comparing yourself to others because you realize your own life is already enough. Some people wait their whole lives for happiness, thinking it will come when they reach some distant goal. But happiness is not waiting in the future. It is here, now, in this moment, if only you open your eyes to see it. Gratitude is the key that unlocks this truth. So, take a deep breath. Feel the air filling your lungs. Hear the sounds around you. Look at the space you are in. Right now, this is life. Not tomorrow, not some distant dream. This moment. Can you find something to be grateful for? If you can, you are already walking the path of happiness. The wisdom of simplicity, living a happy life with less. Sit down, take a deep breath, and let go of everything for a moment. Let go of your worries, your plans, your desires. Just for now, feel the space around you. Feel the stillness. This moment is simple, yet it holds everything you need. Have you ever noticed how complicated life has become? So many things to do, so many responsibilities, so many distractions. Everywhere you turn, someone is telling you that you need more. More success, more money, more possessions, more achievements. But has chasing more ever truly made you happy? Or has it only made you feel like you're never enough? Imagine a traveler walking through a dense forest, carrying a heavy backpack filled with things he thinks he needs. Extra clothes, food, books, tools, souvenirs. Every step he takes, the weight on his back makes the journey harder. He thought these things would make his journey easier, but instead, they slow him down. He starts to feel exhausted, frustrated. Then, he meets an old monk sitting by the side of the road. The monk looks peaceful, with nothing but a small bag beside him. The traveler asks, "How do you walk so lightly through life?" The monk smiles and replies, "Because I only carry what I truly need." This is the wisdom of simplicity. It is not about having nothing. It is about carrying only what is essential. And when you do this, something magical happens. Your mind becomes lighter, your heart becomes freer, and happiness becomes natural. Buddha once said, "Less desire, more peace." This does not mean you should never want anything. It means that when you stop clinging to things, your suffering disappears. Look at nature. A tree does not try to own the wind. A river does not hold onto the water that flows through it. They simply exist, without attachment. And because of that, they are free. But human beings are different. We attach ourselves to things, objects, relationships, status, opinions. We believe that if we just get the right job, the perfect house, the latest phone, the ideal partner, then we will finally feel complete. But the truth is, the more we own, the more we are owned. Have you ever cleaned your room and felt a sense of relief? That's because clutter is not just physical, it's mental. Every object you own takes up space in your mind. The more things you accumulate, the more distractions you have. The more distractions you have, the less peace you feel. The less peace you feel, the harder it is to be happy. Think about your daily life. How much time do you spend worrying about things you don't even need? How much energy do you waste chasing things that won't truly fulfill you? Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what do I actually need to be happy? The answer is much simpler than you think. A calm mind, a grateful heart, a life with meaning. These things do not come from more. They come from less. Simplicity is not just about physical possessions. It is also about simplifying your thoughts. Too often, people fill their minds with unnecessary worries. What will people think of me? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? These thoughts weigh you down just like a heavy backpack. But what happens when you let them go? You feel light. You feel free. Imagine your mind is like a garden. If you plant too many seeds and let them grow wildly, the garden becomes overgrown, chaotic, and messy. But if you carefully choose what to plant, pulling out the unnecessary weeds, your garden becomes a place of peace and beauty. The same goes for your thoughts. Not every thought deserves to grow. Let go of the ones that don't serve you. Simplicity also means letting go of the past. People carry their past like a heavy stone, dragging it with them wherever they go. Regrets, mistakes, painful memories, they hold on to them, even when they hurt. But ask yourself, is holding on to this helping me? If not, why carry it any longer? The past is gone. The future is uncertain. The only thing you truly have is this moment. And in this moment, happiness is possible. There is a Zen saying, when walking, walk. When eating, eat. It sounds simple, but it holds deep wisdom. It means that whatever you do, be fully there. If you're eating, enjoy your food without distractions. If you're walking, feel each step without thinking about yesterday or tomorrow. If you're with a loved one, listen to them fully, without looking at your phone or thinking about something else. Life is made up of simple moments, but if your mind is always elsewhere, you miss them. Many people believe that happiness is something to be found, but in reality, happiness is something to be uncovered. It has always been there, hidden beneath layers of unnecessary things. Unrealistic expectations, unhealthy attachments, endless desires. When you strip all of that away, what remains? Peace, clarity, contentment. Look at the happiest people in the world. They are not the ones with the most money, the biggest houses, or the latest technology. They are the ones who live simply, love deeply, and appreciate the little things. A warm cup of tea, the sound of birds in the morning, the laughter of a child. These are the moments that bring true joy. Simplicity is also about your relationships. Have you ever felt drained by people who bring unnecessary drama into your life? Have you ever felt pressured to impress others, to prove your worth? What if you didn't have to do that anymore? What if you surrounded yourself only with people who uplift you, who bring peace instead of stress? Relationships should feel light, not heavy. If someone is constantly draining your energy, it might be time to let go. Some people fear simplicity because they think it means giving up too much. But true simplicity is not about losing anything. It's about gaining everything that truly matters. More time, more peace, more happiness. Right now, close your eyes and imagine your life with less clutter, less stress, less noise. Now imagine your life with more clarity, more joy, more presence. How does it feel? Light? Free? That is the power of simplicity. Happiness is not found in adding more, but in removing what no longer serves you. So, ask yourself, what can I let go of today? What can I simplify? The answer to those questions may lead you to the peace you've been searching for all along. The ultimate happiness secret, a Buddhist perspective. Sit with me for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the air enter your body. Feel it leave. Right now, in this very moment, there is nothing to chase, nothing to fix, nothing to hold on to. There is only now, and in this now, there is peace. You have traveled far on this journey. You have learned about the mind, about attachments, about letting go. But now, let me tell you the final secret, the one thing that will change everything. Happiness is not something you get. It is something you are. All your life, you have been taught that happiness comes from something outside, that if you work hard, earn more, love deeply, and gain the approval of others, you will finally be happy. But look around. How many people have everything, yet still feel empty? How many people have nothing, yet walk with peace in their hearts? This is because happiness is not in things. It is in the mind. It is in how you see the world. Think of the sky. Some days it is clear, blue, open. Some days it is dark, stormy, covered in heavy clouds. But is the sky ever truly gone? No. It is always there, behind the clouds, waiting. Your happiness is the same. It is not something you need to create. It is something that is already there. You only need to remove the clouds. And what are these clouds? They are your thoughts, fears, desires, expectations. They are the voices in your head that tell you, I will be happy when I get more money, when I meet the right person, when I fix my past, when I change who I am. But let me ask you, why not now? Why not this very moment? What is truly stopping you from choosing peace? Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who spent years searching for happiness. He traveled across mountains, spoke to wise teachers, read all the books. But no matter where he went, he never found it. Finally, tired and broken, he sat under a tree and gave up. And in that moment, for the first time, he felt peace. Why? Because he stopped searching. Happiness is not in the future. It is not in the past. It is here, right now, in the breath you are taking, in the sound of the wind, in the warmth of the sun on your skin. But you will never see it if your mind is always somewhere else. We have spent so much time talking about thoughts, attachments, letting go. But let me ask you, what happens when you do nothing? When you stop trying to change everything? When you stop fighting against the flow of life? Look at the river. It does not force itself forward. It simply moves. It does not cling to the rocks or try to change direction. It flows. This is the way of happiness. The more you resist, the more you suffer. The more you allow, the more peace you will feel. So, if happiness is so simple, why do people struggle so much? Because they fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of being nothing. Fear of letting go. But listen carefully, you are already free. The only chains that exist are the ones you put on yourself. Right now, in this moment, there is nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing you need to fix. If you close your eyes and simply be, you will see that happiness was never gone. It was only covered by noise, by worry, by the endless chase for more. So, what do you do now? What is the final step? Stop searching. Start living. Laugh. Breathe. Enjoy the warmth of tea in your hands. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Give without expecting. Love without fear. Live without waiting. Because happiness is not something later. It is something now. Now, before we end, I have one last request. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of people subscribe. If you found even a single moment of peace in this journey, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps more than you know. And tell me, in the comments below, what does happiness mean to you? Thank you for walking this path with me. Now, go and live. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, beyond happiness, the path of the mind, a final teaching. Sit with me once more. Feel the breath in your body. Feel the silence between words. This moment, right now, is all there is. If you have come this far, you have already opened your mind to something rare, something powerful. You have begun to understand happiness in a way that few ever do. But now, let me take you further. Happiness is not the end of the path. It is only the beginning. For many, happiness is seen as a destination, something to reach, something to hold on to. But this is an illusion. The deeper truth is this. Happiness is not the goal. It is the path itself. And when you walk it with wisdom, you go beyond mere happiness. You reach something far greater, freedom. So, let us go beyond what we have learned. Let us explore the deeper truths, the ones that few dare to see. 1. The illusion of the self. What is it that seeks happiness? Who is the one that suffers? If you close your eyes and ask yourself, who am I? What answer comes? A name? A role? A collection of memories? Buddhism teaches that the self, this identity we cling to so tightly, is an illusion. It is not real in the way we think. The thoughts in your mind, the emotions you feel, the experiences you have, they are all like waves on the ocean. always changing, always moving. And yet, beneath them, the ocean itself remains. If you understand this deeply, suffering begins to disappear. Why? Because suffering is rooted in the illusion of the self, the belief that I am suffering, I am unhappy, I must fix something. But if there is no fixed self, who is suffering? Think of a candle flame. It burns brightly, but it is never the same flame from moment to moment. It is always changing. Yet, we look at it and say, this is the same flame, but it is not. It is only a continuation, a movement, an unfolding. Your life is the same. You are not the same person you were yesterday. You are not the same person you will be tomorrow. The suffering you feel today will not last, because the one who feels it will change. So, if there is no solid self, why hold on to pain? Why grasp at happiness? Let it all flow. Let it move through you like the wind moves through the trees. 2. The false search for meaning. Many people say, I just want my life to have meaning. They search for purpose, for something to give their life value. But let me ask you, does the sky need a reason to exist? Does the river need a purpose to flow? Does the flower ask itself why it blooms? Life is not something that needs meaning. It is meaning itself. The mistake people make is believing that meaning must be given, that it must come from a job, a title, a relationship, an achievement. But true meaning is not found, it is realized. It is in every breath, in every moment, in every step. Look at a child playing. They are not asking, what is the purpose of this game? They simply play. And in that play there is joy. There is meaning. Life is the same. You do not need to find a reason. You only need to live fully, to be present, to embrace the moment. And when you do, meaning arises on its own. 3. The end of fear. Fear is the greatest barrier to happiness. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of what others think, fear of not being enough. But tell me, where does fear exist? Have you ever touched it? Have you ever held it in your hands? No, fear is only a thought. And thoughts are not real. They are like clouds in the sky. They come, they go, but they do not change the sky itself. What happens when you stop running from fear? What happens when you turn and face it fully? It disappears. Because fear only exists when you resist it. When you accept it, when you see it clearly, it loses its power. Try this. The next time fear arises, do not push it away. Do not fight it. Simply observe it. Ask yourself, where is this fear coming from? Look at it deeply. See it for what it is, just a passing thought. And then, let it go. 4. The power of emptiness. In the West, people fear emptiness. They think of it as a void, a loss, a nothingness. But in Buddhism, emptiness is not something to fear. It is the greatest freedom. Imagine a cup. If it is full, you cannot pour anything new into it. But if it is empty, it can receive. Your mind is the same. If it is full of opinions, attachments, desires, fears, how can it receive new wisdom? How can it be at peace? Emptiness is not about losing something. It is about making space. When you let go of the past, you make space for the present. When you let go of anger, you make space for peace. When you let go of fear, you make space for love. Emptiness is the doorway to true happiness. Because when you are empty, you are free. 5. The final truth. There is nothing to seek. And now, we come to the greatest secret of all. There is nothing to seek. All your life, you have been taught to seek, to search for happiness, to search for success, to search for meaning. But tell me, where do you expect to find it? Outside of yourself? In some future moment? What if I told you that you are already there? That there is nothing missing? That you do not need to change, fix, or become anything? The search for happiness is what makes people unhappy. The belief that there is somewhere else to be is what creates suffering. Right now, in this very moment, you are already complete. If you close your eyes, take a deep breath, and simply be, you will see it. This is the final truth, the ultimate secret. There is nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to become, only this, only now, only peace. A final word. You have walked this journey with me. You have listened. You have understood. But now, it is time to live it. Do not just take these words as knowledge. Make them your experience. When you wake up tomorrow, do not think, how can I be happy today? Instead, simply be. Let go of the need to control. Let go of the chase. Then watch as happiness arises naturally, without effort, without force. Thank you for walking this path with me. Now, go and live. Not tomorrow, not someday now.